Matthias, you took part in a panel discussion today about do we really need fibre? Now, before you tell me your answer, tell me about your organisation and then the main points that you were making to that panel.
Okay. I'm the chairman of Cable Europe, which is basically the European organization of all cable operators like UPC, like Kabel Deutschland, like Virgin. So we are assembling the interests of the cable industry in Europe. And coming back to your question, do we really need fiber? I think fiber is everywhere, you know. Even the cable networks have a lot of fiber in their backbones. And fiber obviously will go very closer to the house incrementally, because the development of the download of broadband traffic will need that, you know. But the cable industry does it incrementally, and we only discuss the very, very last mile. And in the very last mile, the copper network which cable has is like a kind of a gold mine. Because our technicians, our engineers invented a standard called DOCSIS, I don't go into the details, who is able now, and I just got some news about it, to develop gigabytes symmetrical both ways over this last mile in cable. So I think if there is a cable network, and that's in 50% of the European households, we take advantage of that because we could immediately offer people already now 500 megabits with the old standard. With the new standard, we could offer them gigabits. So we think this system, this hybrid system, will be fit for a long time, fit for purpose. And the advantage is you can incrementally invest. You don't need this big money of investment at a time to take up a fiber network to the house, you know. And the customer doesn't notice. He has the same kind of quality, the same kind of experience and service. So that's the only thing we're discussing. And if there would be no cable network, I think even cable operators would think in a green field to invest directly in fiber to the home. Maybe, but it's up to the operators to do that. But it would be a big mistake to underestimate the value for the existing cable infrastructure in the last mile.
And while all this is going on, what's your view on the regulatory situation at the moment?
It hasn't been that bad because it's encouraged especially infrastructure-based competition. And cable, our members, are one of the main driving force for high-quality broadband in Europe. And our members benefit from this infrastructure competition. And in areas where you have 100% cable coverage, we have the best service all over Europe. So I think infrastructure competition is one key for get better quality in broadband. And when competition works, we could phase out of regulation. This is already embedded in the existing regulatory framework. That could be a little bit enhanced for next generation networks. We look market by market, but I think there is no longer a justification for regulation if this infrastructure competition has so fantastic results for the consumer.
Yes, now you finish with the magic word, the consumer there. Sometimes we forget about the consumer. Yeah. What do you think matters most to them at the moment?
I think consumers want to have a seamless experience, and they want to have a whole bundle of different services at a very reasonable price. And that's what cable operators can offer. You know, we have embedded Wi-Fi systems. We have embedded even content, even high quality content, in a triple play bundle. You know, so it's important not to think only about infrastructure. It's important to think about the services. And what we see right now is we are running ahead of the demand. You know, so we would like the politicians and the regulator and the EU Commission to look more on the side of the demand. What can we do to stimulate more the demand of new services? And that's a holistic view, I think, for digital Europe. And we will deliver, I'm sure, we will deliver the best infrastructure broadband solution, which is technically feasible.
Yes, I mean, talking about the EU, what do you think is the one single thing they could do to help sort of deliver on this digital single market?
Besides the demand stimulation and besides thinking about it, I think the regulation which they do should enable investment. I think that's a key issue, because public money, public funding never can do the job. You know, most of the money is coming from private companies and from private investors, and they are very sensible on changes in the regulatory framework. So what we should do is to look on these private investors who, by the way, have delivered a great job in the past. It's not that they have done nothing, you know. They have delivered very good quality. And listen a little bit more what these investors want. And then in the end of the day, the investors listen also on the demand of the customers, you know. So if you want to have a good business in a competitive environment, there is no way that you have to listen to your customer and to support the needs of the customer. So this is a healthy environment, and I think we should learn out of this healthy environment and not distorting it. That's my main message to the Commission.
Matthias, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you, Brian.